What if I told you that there is a way to keep your home organized, clean, and with that peaceful feeling you desire without having to spend hours cleaning every day? Women from the northern regions of Europe have discovered incredible secrets to keep their homes functional and harmonious, even with the hustle and bustle of everyday life. They have developed simple but powerful habits that completely transform the domestic routine. Have you ever noticed how some people always seem to have their house in order while you struggle to keep everything in place? The difference is not in the time they have available, but in the habits they have cultivated over the years. These ancient practices have been passed down from generation to generation, and today I will share with you the 10 most effective habits that can revolutionize your home and your life. If you continue doing things the way you always have, your home will continue to be a source of stress instead of a haven of peace. But if you apply these techniques that I'm going to teach you today, in just a few days, you'll notice an impressive transformation. Your home will become more functional, cleaner, and most importantly, a place where you really want to be. Get ready, because some of these tips will surprise you. The third one in particular will completely change your perspective on home organization. Stay until the end, because the last tip is a secret that few people know, but that makes all the difference between an ordinary home and a truly special one. Tip 1. The 2-minute rule that eliminates clutter. The first habit that revolutionizes any home is the famous 2-minute rule. This simple habit solves one of the biggest problems we face at home: the accumulation of small tasks that later turn into big messes. You know those little things that you put off until later? Well, they are the biggest villains of disorganization. The rule goes like this: if a task takes less than 2 minutes to complete, you do it right away, without exception. This includes putting away a coat, washing a cup you just used, putting your shoes on the cobbler, or folding a towel that was lying on the bed. It sounds too simple to work, but it's exactly this simplicity that makes the method so powerful. Let's imagine a real-life situation. You come home from work and take off your coat. Instead of throwing it over the chair, you spend literally 15 seconds hanging it in the closet. This small action prevents you from having a pile of clothes scattered around the house at the end of the week. The same goes for dishes. Instead of leaving them in the sink, you wash them immediately after use. The benefits of this practice are impressive. First, you eliminate the accumulation of tasks that will later require much more time and energy. Second, your home always looks tidy, even on the busiest days. Third, you develop the habit of taking care of things at the right time, which brings an incredible sense of control and organization. But the most important thing is the psychological impact. When you stop procrastinating on these small tasks, your mind also becomes more organized. You feel more productive and confident. It's as if each small action is a vote of confidence in yourself. And believe me, after a few weeks of practicing this rule, it becomes automatic. You don't even have to think about it, you just do it. Tip 2. The time-saving zone cleaning method. The second habit that can transform any home is to divide all cleaning tasks into specific areas. Instead of trying to clean the entire house at once, which is tiring and demotivating, you focus on one small area each day. This strategy solves the problem of overwhelm and makes cleaning much more manageable and efficient. The house is divided into 7 zones: living room, kitchen, bathrooms, bedrooms, utility room, office or work area, and outdoor spaces like the porch or backyard. Each day of the week, you dedicate yourself to just one zone, giving that specific space a thorough cleaning. This means you're never overwhelmed and always have the energy to do a good job. Let's see how this works in practice. Monday is the day for the living room. You dust the furniture, vacuum or sweep the floor, organize the decorative objects, fold the throws on the sofa, and arrange the cushions. Since this is the only area, you can do everything calmly and with attention to detail. On Tuesday, it's the kitchen's turn. You clean the appliances, organize the cabinets, clean the inside of the refrigerator, and give the sink and stove a thorough cleaning. What happens is magical. By the end of the week, your entire home has been deep cleaned, but you never feel overwhelmed. Each day, you only spend 30 to 40 minutes cleaning, but the result is a spotless home. And because you do this every week, there's never a buildup of dirt that's hard to remove. The benefits are huge. You eliminate those entire days wasted on heavy cleaning. Your home always looks presentable because each area gets regular attention. You develop a sustainable routine that doesn't drain your energy. And best of all, you get to know every corner of your home better, noticing small problems before they become big issues. Tip 3. The secret to functional minimalism in decoration. The third habit, and perhaps the most transformative of all, is to adopt functional minimalism in your decor. This doesn't mean having an empty or personality-free home, but rather carefully choosing each object that is on display, prioritizing items that are both beautiful and useful. This concept solves the problem of accumulating decorative objects that only collect dust and make cleaning difficult. Functional minimalism works by a simple rule. Every visible object in your home needs to have a clear function or bring you a lot of joy. If an item doesn't meet either of these criteria, it needs to be stored or donated. This means having less stuff on your furniture, fewer decorations on your shelves, and fewer utensils in the kitchen that are visible. In practice, let's imagine your coffee table. Instead of having 5 or 6 decorative objects, you choose just 2 or 3 pieces that you really love and that perhaps have some function, like a pretty scented candle or an elegant control holder. In the kitchen, instead of leaving all the appliances on the counter, you keep only the ones you use daily in view, like the coffee maker or the blender. The transformation is impressive. First, cleaning becomes much faster because you have fewer items to move, clean underneath, and replace. Second, your home looks more sophisticated and organized because each item has its place and purpose. Third, you save money because you stop buying unnecessary items and focus only on what you really need. But the most important benefit is psychological. A cleaner environment visually brings more peace of mind. Your mind rests when it doesn't have to process so much visual information. You feel calmer, more focused, and more connected to your home. It's as if every space breathes better, and so do you. Now, before we move on to the next tip, if you're enjoying this information, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any tips that can transform your home. And tell me in the comments, where are you watching this video from? I love knowing where our followers come from. Now let's move on to the fourth tip, which is about a nighttime habit that changes everything. Tip 4. The 10-minute nighttime routine that makes the next day easier. The fourth habit that makes all the difference is to establish a nighttime routine of just 10 minutes to prepare the house for the next day. This practice solves one of the biggest problems we face, waking up to a messy house that already leaves us stressed out. With this simple routine, you will always wake up to an organized and welcoming environment. The 10-minute routine includes very specific tasks that have a big impact. You put away any items that have been misplaced during the day, quickly wash any leftover dishes, prepare the coffee maker for the next day, fold and put away any clothes that were on the bed or chairs, and make a quick trip to the kitchen and living room to tidy up. Let's see how it works. After dinner, instead of going straight to bed, you spend those 10 minutes tidying up the house. You start by putting away the objects in the living room, remote controls, magazines, sofa cushions. Then you go to the kitchen, wash the last dishes, quickly clean the sink and countertop, and prepare everything for breakfast the next day. Finally, you go around the bedrooms, putting away clothes and personal belongings. The impact of this routine is transformative. You always wake up to a tidy house, which improves your mood from the very first minutes of the day. Your morning flows better because you don't waste time looking for things or cleaning up messes. You feel more in control of your life because you've developed the habit of taking care of your space before going to bed. Furthermore, this routine acts as a transition between day and night. While you tidy up your home, your mind also organizes itself and prepares to relax. It's as if you are closing the cycle of the day in a conscious and careful way. Many people report that they sleep better after adopting this practice because they feel at peace knowing that they will wake up to a harmonious environment. Tip 5. The clutter-free organizing basket system. The fifth revolutionary habit is to use organizing baskets strategically placed around the house to control daily clutter. This system solves the problem of objects that are scattered around because they don't have a specific place to keep them, or because that place is too far away when you're in a rush. With the right baskets in the right places, you can keep things organized effortlessly. The system works like this. You place beautiful and functional baskets in strategic spots around your home where clutter tends to accumulate. A basket in the entryway for keys, sunglasses, and small items you take out of your pockets. A basket in the living room for remote controls, chargers, and headphones. A basket in the bedroom for clothes that can still be worn before washing. A basket in the bathroom for everyday items. In practice, imagine that you arrive home with your hands full of groceries, a purse, keys, and mail. Instead of leaving everything on the first piece of furniture you find, you put the small objects in the basket in the hallway. The remote controls that are always scattered on the couch now have their own basket on the coffee table. The clothes that you tried on but aren't going to wash still go in the basket in the bedroom, not on the chair. The secret is to choose beautiful baskets that match your decor because they will always be visible. Choose natural materials such as wicker, bamboo, or fabric, which are both beautiful and functional. The size should be appropriate for the objects you are going to store. Not too big, so that it doesn't become a storage area. Not too small, so that it doesn't overflow quickly. The benefits are immediate and long-lasting. Your home becomes visibly more organized because the small objects that cause visual clutter now have a specific place. Cleaning becomes easier because you only need to empty the baskets periodically and put each item in its rightful place. You save time searching for items because you know exactly where to find them. And your whole family naturally helps with the organization because it is much easier to throw something in a basket than to look for the right place to put it. Tip 6. The mirror technique that keeps every room spotless. The sixth habit that can transform any home is to apply the mirror technique to each room. This strategy solves the problem of not being aware of the real state of our spaces because we often get used to the mess and stop seeing it. The mirror technique helps you see your home through the eyes of a visitor and always keep everything impeccable. The technique works like this. Every day, you choose a room in the house and stop at the door as if it were the first time you were entering there. Look at everything carefully, as if you were a visitor arriving. What do you see first? What impression does this room give? What is out of place? What needs cleaning? What could be better organized? You mentally note everything that needs to be adjusted. Let's practice this in the living room. You stop at the entrance and observe. Are the sofa cushions organized? Is the coffee table free of unnecessary objects? Is the floor clean? Are the curtains well arranged? Is the decor harmonious? Is there any object that breaks the harmony of the room? With this critical but loving look, you quickly identify what needs to be improved. Once you've identified areas for improvement, you can immediately make the necessary adjustments. You can rearrange cushions, remove objects that don't belong in the room, clean dusty surfaces, and arrange the decor. This entire process only takes a few minutes, but the result is a space that always looks ready for guests. The power of this technique lies in the change in perspective it provides. When you look at your home through the eyes of a visitor, you can see things that habit makes invisible. You develop a higher standard of organization and cleanliness because you start to care about the first impression each room makes. Your home becomes a place you are proud to show off, no matter who arrives unexpectedly. In addition, this practice develops your aesthetic sense and your ability to create harmonious environments. Over time, you become more sensitive to the details that make the difference between an ordinary environment and a special one. your home begins to better reflect your personality and values. Tip 7. The 3-pile method to organize any mess. The 7th habit that dramatically simplifies organization is the 3-pile method for dealing with any accumulation of clutter. This technique solves the problem of paralysis that we feel when we are faced with a huge mess and don't know where to start. With the 3 piles, any chaotic situation becomes manageable and organizable. The method is simple but very effective. When you come across a messy area, whether it's a desk full of papers, a bed covered in clothes, or a countertop cluttered with objects, you create 3 mental or physical piles. The first pile is for objects that are in that room. The second pile is for objects that belong elsewhere in the house. The third pile is for objects that you no longer want and are going to donate or discard. Let's imagine that you need to organize your chaotic desk. You pick up each item and quickly decide, this document stays here on the desk because I use it all the time. It goes in pile 1. This cell phone charger belongs in the bedroom. It goes in pile 2. This pen that no longer works goes in the trash, pile 3. This quick decision process prevents you from wasting time thinking too much about each item. The magic happens when you're done sorting. Pile 1 goes back on the table, but now you organize these objects in a logical and beautiful way. Pile 2 you distribute around the house, moving each object to its correct place. Pile 3 you immediately discard, freeing up space and energy. In just a few minutes, a seemingly impossible mess is completely organized. The benefits are impressive. You break the mental paralysis that clutter causes because you have a clear system for dealing with any situation. The process is faster because you don't have to wonder what to do with each item. You develop familiarity with your ability to make decisions about your belongings, which is an important skill for keeping your home organized. But the most valuable thing is that this method teaches you to be more conscious about the objects you keep in your home. Over time, you start to question more before buying new things, and it becomes easier to get rid of what you no longer need. Your home becomes more functional and less hoarded. Tip 8. The music strategy that makes cleaning enjoyable. The 8th habit that completely transforms your relationship with household cleaning is to create specific soundtracks for each type of task. This strategy solves one of the biggest obstacles to keeping the house organized, the feeling that cleaning is boring, tiring, and unpleasant. With the right music, household chores become pleasurable and even therapeutic moments. The strategy works like this. You create different playlists for different types of cleaning. An energetic playlist with songs you love for the tougher tasks, like vacuuming, mopping the floor, or organizing closets. A calmer, more relaxing playlist for delicate tasks like folding clothes, organizing small objects, or cleaning delicate surfaces. A motivational playlist for the days when you don't feel like it but need to get the house in order. In practice, when you're cleaning the entire house on the weekend, you put on your energetic playlist and dance while you vacuum. The music gives you energy and rhythm, turning cleaning into a kind of fun exercise. When you're folding clothes at night, you put on softer music that relaxes you and makes the task almost meditative. Time passes more quickly, and you can even take the opportunity to reflect on the day. The secret is to choose music that really motivates you and makes you feel good. It can be classical music, rock, pop, national music, gospel, any style that awakens positive emotions in you. The important thing is that it is something that makes you want to move, sing along, or at least smile. Avoid sad or very slow music for tasks that require physical energy. The benefits are surprising. Cleaning stops being a boring chore and becomes a moment of personal pleasure. You feel more motivated to keep your house tidy because you associate these tasks with positive feelings. Your mood improves during and after cleaning because the music releases endorphins that make you feel good. Many people find that this habit has extra benefits. They get to know their musical tastes better, discover new artists, and even use the cleaning time to relax and de-stress. The house stays clean and you feel happier. It's an investment that pays off twice over Before I continue with the next tips, I want to tell you about something special I prepared for those who want to go beyond this video. It's a complete guide with organization secrets that completely transform my home and can transform yours too. The link is in the pinned comment, and for a limited time, I'm offering a special discount for channel subscribers. Now let's continue with the next tips, which are some of my favorites. Tip 9. The weekly review habit that prevents chaos. The 9th habit that keeps your home running smoothly is to establish a weekly review of all your organizational systems. This practice solves the problem of the gradual accumulation of clutter that occurs when we lose control of our habits. With a weekly review, you can identify and correct small problems before they become big messes. The weekly review is a time that you set aside, always on the same day of the week, to evaluate how all of your organizational systems are working. You walk around the house, observing whether the baskets are doing their job, whether the cabinets are still organized, whether any area is accumulating objects out of place, or whether any routine needs to be adjusted. It's like preventive maintenance for your home. During this review, you make mental notes or even make a list. For example, the living room laundry basket is overflowing. I need to empty it and reorganize it. The bedroom closet is a bit messy because I'm throwing clothes in there without folding them properly. The kitchen counter is accumulating objects that don't belong there. The bathroom needs a deeper cleaning in some corners that I'm neglecting. Once you've identified the areas that need attention, you can take the time to make the necessary adjustments. Rearrange baskets, tidy up cabinets, redistribute items that are in the wrong places, and do spot cleaning where necessary. This entire process takes about 30 minutes to an hour, but it prevents much bigger problems. The power of this practice lies in prevention. Instead of waiting for your house to become chaotic and then doing a major, desperate cleanup, you can keep everything running smoothly with small, regular adjustments. It's like taking care of a garden. If you water and prune it regularly, it will stay beautiful. If you neglect it for too long, it will need a lot more work to get it back on track. Additionally, weekly reviews help you improve your organization systems. You'll notice what's working well and what needs to be changed. Maybe a basket needs to be replaced with a larger one, or a closet needs to be rearranged differently. Over time, your home will become more functional and more suited to your lifestyle. Tip 10. The secret of gratitude for the house that transforms everything. The 10th and final habit, and perhaps the most powerful of all, is to develop a genuine gratitude for your home. This practice addresses the deepest problem that affects our motivation to take care of our home. When we see our home as a burden or a source of constant work, we lose the desire to take good care of it. But when we develop gratitude for our space, everything naturally changes. Gratitude for your home begins with the recognition that having a home is an immense privilege. It doesn't matter if your home is big or small, new or old, rented or owned. The fact that you have a roof over your head, walls that protect you, a space that is yours to rest, create memories and be yourself. This is something extraordinary that deserves to be valued and cared for with love. In practice, this gratitude is expressed in small daily gestures of affection for your home. You open the windows in the morning, thanking for another day in this space. You clean each room, thinking about how good it is to have this place to take care of. You organize your belongings carefully, recognizing that each object tells a story about your life. You invest time and energy in decorating because your home deserves to be beautiful for you. When you develop a loving relationship with your home, taking care of it stops being an obligation and becomes an act of self-care. You understand that an organized and clean home is a gift you give to yourself. Each household task becomes a way of showing self-love and caring for your well-being. Cleaning becomes a ritual of gratitude. The results of this mindset shift are profound and lasting. You are naturally more motivated to keep your home in order because you have come to see it as something precious. You develop more enjoyment in being at home, more pride in your space, and more inner peace in your surroundings. Your home truly becomes a sanctuary, a place that nourishes your soul. But the most beautiful thing is that this gratitude radiates to other areas of your life. When you learn to value and take good care of your home, you develop a more caring and grateful attitude towards everything you have. Your relationship with your belongings, your money, your opportunities, everything becomes more conscious and loving. We've reached the end of these 10 transformative tips that can completely revolutionize your relationship with your home. Each of these habits, when practiced consistently, has the power to bring more functionality, cleanliness, and peace to your home. But remember, the transformation happens when you put these ideas into practice, not just when you know about them. Start by choosing just 1 or 2 of these tips to implement this week. Don't try to do them all at once, as this can be overwhelming. Choose the ones that make the most sense for your current situation and practice them until they become second nature. Then, gradually incorporate the other practices. Your home has the potential to be your greatest refuge, your space of peace and renewal. It can be functional without being cold, organized without being rigid, clean without demanding hours of your day. It all depends on the habits you choose to cultivate and the relationship you develop with your space. Now I want to know from you, which of these tips will you start applying first? Which one caught your attention the most? Tell me in the comments, because I love to know how this information is impacting your lives. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe now and turn on notifications so you don't miss any more tips that can transform your home and your life. Your dream home is just a few habits away.